What's going on, guys? Welcome to the Scent Bubble. I am your host for the evening, despite the lighting. We are in the evening. I think it's about 8 o'clock here on the West Coast. I want to show you guys today 6 fragrances that you should overspray. You guys saw me release a video recently. Definitely check that out. I'll throw that up on the screen at the end of this video. But we talked about the fact that one way to increase longevity is to simply overspray. But these are fragrances that no matter how much you overspray them, the scent will stay the same. It will get stronger and then it'll hit a threshold. And at that point, the more sprays will simply just add to the projection and longevity. And the scents smell so dang good that nobody will be offended by the fact that you oversprayed. A lot of these are EDTs, but some of them are beast mode scents that just smell really good. So in no particular order, let's start off with kind of a common one. Versace Eros EDT. This fragrance lasts on its own as an eau de toilette about 8 to 10 hours. But it's got such a smooth roundness on the finish of this scent profile that you can literally apply it 10, 15 sprays, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, all the way up to 20 sprays. You will not offend anybody. This is smooth, vanillic, well-rounded off apple, lavender, and musk. It's got more stuff, but that's the basis of it. You can just spray this eternally and people just love it. This is one of the most versatile fragrances I own. I'm on like the 3rd bottle of this, and you can get 100 mil for like 30, 40 bucks all day long. So get the eau de toilette. You don't need to go. I know people say the parfum is richer and more complex, or the EDP is more projective and lasts longer. It doesn't matter. They're so close to the eau de toilette that just save yourself the money and continuously get 100 mil eau de toilettes and they'll do you just fine. But I overspray the heck out of this. These are all scents that when you take this out, you don't count. You just cover your whole body all around, down to your feet, and you're gonna be good for the day. And that was Versace Eros Eau de Toilette. And honestly, you could probably beast mode on the trigger finger for every concentration of that. Next up, Lalique Equus. Lalique Equus is a very simple formula, I believe, of amber, grapefruit, and vetiver. Really savory, slight citric bite, grapefruit. It's juicy, but it's warm, wine reduction savory tartness. It's very smooth. It's almost like wine, you know, grapefruit wine. It's warm, it's ambery, and that vetiver just gives enough backbone to it to give it a little bit of sophistication. You know, it's got as much sophistication as something like a Bleu de Chanel or something like that, but it's almost sporty in its elegance. That's exactly how I would classify it, an elegant, sporty fragrance. Absolutely love this juice. You could spray it eternally. I do not count. I go crazy on the trigger, arms, legs, everything. You can infinitely spray this and you will smell sexy and not overpowering on anybody. And this is a 10 out of 10 sporty luxury fragrance in my book. Same with Eros, 10 out of 10. I'm gonna try to give you guys all fragrances that are at least a 9 or that are at least a 9 or higher in my book. You guys know how much I love L'Homme. And I'm sorry to report to you, but we are not going to mention YSL L'Homme today, which is to me the king of Netflix and chill. But don't fret. Here we have La Nuit de L'Homme. And yes, my top is the one from the original Eau de Toilette L'Homme. I just took it off and put it on this one because I bought this as one. I have a supplier who sold this to me without the cap, brand new, but just didn't have the cap. So I guess you would classify that as a tester, but it hadn't been tested. It was just a little bit battered and bruised. I think I got this for like 15 bucks. 100 mil, the king of Netflix and chill. There is no bad L'Homme. L'Homme, La Nuit de L'Homme, Blue Electrique, they're all sexy, cozy, Netflix and chill. She gets up in your jacket. You guys sit down and watch a movie type of fragrance, low projection. And because it's got a low projection, but also because it's one of the smoothest kind of cardamom, sweet, basil-ish types of fragrances out there, you can just go nuts on the trigger finger. You know, I could easily spray this 20 times on my skin and Oh, I mean, it's just amazing. I will say this, when you guys go crazy on the trigger finger, try not to judge your experience of the fragrance based off the first 10 seconds of spraying. It's supposed to be beast mode. It's supposed to be overpowering. It's supposed to choke you out. Go stand outside right after you spray for like 10, 20 seconds. Let the thing sit down. And like I always say, you will be glad that you did. You're supposed to be choked out if you just sprayed a fragrance 20 times in your face. So spray it low, work your way up, go sit outside, let that thing sit, and it will push for you. And but you know, the main reason for this video is 6 fragrances that you can overspray that other people won't be repulsed by. La Nuit de l'Homme is an absolute star-studded beast. Number 4, Prada Luna Rossa Ocean. What are we talking here? We are talking super duper musky, fresh, slight sweet fragrance. It's almost basically the final boss of like an Invictus style fragrance. Think like a combination between like Valentino Uomo, Invictus Aqua, and just a lot of musk. I mean, there's just a ton of musk in here to my nose. It's super duper uber fresh, the tiniest metallic touch for backbone, and a nice little 4 or 5 out of 10 sweetness. It's super fresh, it's intimate, it imitates the modern style of men's fragrances today, where they're kind of, you know, masculine man with soft edges. You know, they put the musk, they put the backbone in it to give you the masculine quality, but then they put a splash of sweetness so that they can go intimate, and that's so that the fragrance can transition from daytime to night. Normally when I get into night, I wear heavier scents because they're more intimate, and I'm just louder in the evening time with my sweets and florals and things like that. But sometimes you don't want to, or due to money or just preference, you don't want to have to buy fragrances that kind of hybrid out. But that seems to be the more practical desire of the community, is give me a fragrance that I don't have to switch out in the afternoon. I want to wear it during the day and the evening. And that's why you have a super fresh, slightly sweet fragrance. It's, again, I say metallic, but there's just some sort of kind of like fresh silverish backbone to this. I don't really know what it is. It's almost like a buttload of musk with a splash of vanilla, and then this kind of finish of, yeah, fresh, super fresh, musky, slight floral, slight herbal, silverish backbone with a little bit of sweetness. And so many fragrances imitate this, but you can just not even count. Just hit yourself head to toe. Don't count and call it a day. People love Ocean. It's such a simple fragrance to understand that checks the box of freshness and sweet, so you get versatility, you get intimacy, and all that. Last fragrance, you could probably spray this 50 times and it will never be offensive. It's fresh, airy, crisp, and it emphasizes one of my favorite notes in perfumery, though I have not arrived at enough fig fragrances to really make a top 10 video or anything like that. I'm still on the hunt for fragrances that feature this note prominently and are 9s or higher, but this definitely gets a high score. If it weren't for the performance, it would easily be a 10 out of 10 fragrance for what it does. This is Acqua di Parma's Fico di Amalfi. This is fresh, super airy, crisp. Again, I can't say the word crisp enough. It's not crisp as in sharp. It is crisp as in almost this airy, musky tartness to the sweet fig. It's quite a sweet fig, but there's so much musk and airiness and slight green tinge around it that it's almost like all of that with a juicy fig being squeezed in the distance. So the fig makes up 4 out of 10 of the fragrance, you know, 40%, whereas 60% is really about this super musky, fresh, airy, light, crisp, slight green experience that gives the fig more of an outdoor feel. And I like that about it because the fragrance almost borderlines something you would get at like a Lush or an Ulta Beauty as far as a lot of women's shampoos. You can picture fig and sea salt, or musk and fig, or floral fig delight, or something like that. That's what this fragrance leans towards, but it has a crazy injection of freshness that kind of diffuses the fig and makes it a little bit less about the fig, even though the fig is the star of the show. It is surrounded in other atmospheric elements that take it more outdoors and out of the shampoo bottle and makes it a little bit more photo real. It's even watery and juicy to an extent, but I've heard people describe this fragrance, even Justin Copeland said it's a very juicy, mouth watering fig. I do understand that sentiment, but this is more about an airy, musky, outdoor, crisp air experience and not a wet, juicy experience. Even though the fig is so real, your mouth might water, it's not like biting into a fig. It's like being outdoors surrounded by, you know, pines and greens and cedars and musk and air, and there just happens to be a bunch of figs laying around. So it's more about where you are, and the figs are a great supporting role, but you may make out the fig enough to want to just call it an outright fig fragrance. But nonetheless, you could spray this literally 50 times on your skin and don't count. So again, we have Versace Eros Eau de Toilette, don't count the sprays. Lalique Equus, EQUUS, don't count the sprays. 30-ish to 40 bucks, 100 mil. Lalique Equus, 30-ish bucks, 100 mil. La Nuit de L'Homme, south of $100. If you go to my Discord, I can show you how to get it for less than 30 bucks for 100 mil all day long. But if you don't have me as a resource, you're probably going to pay closer between $50 to $100 price point for 100 mil, and at retail, well above that. Prada Ocean, I think I got this fragrance for 20 bucks, 100 mil, but you can probably get this safely between $50 to $100. You know, out in stores and discounters online, things like that. Don't count the sprays. And Acqua di Parma Fico di Amalfi, you could probably safely get for around the $100 price point on online discounters. I got it for 30 bucks. It was missing 25% of the juice on a either 75 or 100 mil. So I probably got realistically like 60 mil or something like that for 30 bucks. I don't care though. I've been draining the bottle myself. But this is kind of just a one and done situation. Spray it a ton, empty the bottle, call it a day. There's other fragrances in the Acqua di Parma lineup I would get before Fico di Amalfi, but it's kind of one of those things where it's like a ride at the amusement park that everybody's talking about. It's fun to jump in and try it, but it's probably not going to be the ride you go to every time you go to the amusement park. You did it just to say you did. But if you're a fig lover and you want something that's less heavy, dense fig and something more super airy, crisp, fresh, musky fig, almost like you're in a cold shower, standing right outside of it, catching wafts of like a cold, crisp air, that type of experience, this is a great time in a bottle. And all of these fragrances truly, you know, Eros couple sprays will last a really long time, but virtually every other fragrance here you want to not count and aim north of 10 sprays all over your body. Don't count, just lather yourself up in it. So that was 6 fragrances you should definitely overspray. Let me know in the comments section. I'm gonna make this a part series because I have tons of fragrances like this that, you know, my trigger finger is crazy on, and I couldn't tell you how many sprays I do because I don't count. So we're gonna definitely break this up into a part section. I didn't grab like my favorites or anything like that. I just went and grabbed 6 of my fragrances that I know without question I don't count the sprays on, but I'm interested to know, what do you go crazy on the trigger finger with in your collection? Put it in the comment section below. Again, as usual, like, comment, subscribe, turn on that notification bell, join my free Discord community. I am capping out the free memberships at 100, and we're at about 70 right now, so that's in the description below. And I hope you guys just have a blessed rest of your week. And let's keep this thing rolling. Hope you enjoyed this video and got value from it. Peace.